guys. This is Bish. Loving the skin I'm in. This is the second half. If you tuned in for, for the first half, it got a little bit crunk, and I don't know if it got crunk and disorderly, but I think it was necessary. Things needed to be said, so you can go and check that part out. It got a little bit heated. I do not apologize for that.
Absolutely.
So again, I am Demetra K, and this is Donovan throwing rocks. Even though I was throwing the rocks, I was throwing the rocks.
No, you were throwing the blows.
I was throwing them back. Okay, I was bobbing and weaving. Donovan throwing the rocks and hiding his hands. Sadiq. So for this hour, we are going to talk about the question is: Black men, what are you teaching your sons? Not only just what are you teaching your sons in general. What are you teaching your sons about being in relationships? Because nowadays, we're seeing a lot of grown-ass men walking around the planet thinking it's okay to openly, I'm doing like he was doing last night with his pen, openly brag about, oh, I ain't got no job, but I got the latest Call of Duty. And on top of that, some of y'all, not all, think it's okay to have a woman taking care of you while you're doing that. Like you have no responsibility. You'll spend 8 hours playing Call of Duty or whatever it is you're playing, opposed to going to try it. I'm not even saying you got to go look for no job, but create a job. And so I often wonder when I see men like that, and not even just grown men, but you see the little boys, to me, the little boys in their 20s or whatever, you see them embodying that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my dad always says, and the minister, Farrakhan says as well, a woman don't need a man to help her do nothing. And so you have a lot of these men out here who believe that's what they should be doing. Well, I'm trying. Oh, the whole world is against me. Mm-hmm. I can't find a job, but I'm going to play video games and make everybody else be responsible for my livelihood.
Is it that they can't find a job or because there are jobs out here?
Right.
It's just that they don't want that job.
It's that, but you know what? No shade to any man or anybody punching the clock. Because listen, I punched a lot of clocks, and I ain't saying I'm never going to punch one again. But a man worth his weight. If you can't find a job, God damn it, you're going to make a job.
Sure.
Okay, you're going to make a job because
legal.
That's legal. Because
isn't that sad we got to emphasize that?
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know what? Hey, do you? Mm-hmm. But it should be legal. But I'm saying that's what we used to do.
Right.
Daddy and Grandpa and them, they made a job.
My grandfather, on my dad's side, 22 children that lived. Mm-hmm. They had more than that. I think it was like 26. Damn. It was all said and done back in the day. But not only was he in the Army during World War II, he was a ditch digger. I mean, if you look at his resume, ditch digger, this, that. I mean, whatever it took.
But never on his resume was unemployed and playing Call of Duty.
Right. Or felon.
Right. He didn't have that kind of stuff on there. And so, listen, I'm not even talking about the quality of job. Yeah, a good job that you can take care of the household would be great. But as long as you're doing something, like my mom always just say, nothing beats a fail but a try. So if you out there trying, that brings me back to a story back in the day when I was in my 20s, when I was young and dumb still. You know, my dad came over to help me with my yard and stuff. And I probably told the story once before. He had just met my boyfriend at the time for the first time. And so my dad was chit-chatting with him and stuff. And he asked him, he said, so what do you do? He says, oh, man, right now I'm unemployed. My dad damn near dropped his tools and said, you unemployed? I mean, for real. He said, you unemployed? He said, you with my daughter and you unemployed? He said, listen, you can't even call yourself a man. In fact, you ain't even fit to walk amongst men talking about you unemployed. He said, I got this lawnmower here finna do this yard. He said, you can take this lawnmower, go knock on some doors, go earn some money. He said, but you can't be with my daughter talking about you unemployed.
That's why he was always welcoming arms with me and Amanda. Because he said, you in the military? Well, I don't like that, but it's a job.
But my boyfriend at the time was like, he said, I was caught off guard when your dad said that to me. He said, but it made sense.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not mad. I'm like, I don't think he cares if you mad. Yeah, but he's like, you with my daughter talking about I'm unemployed. And so to him, he's wondering, well, damn, is she footing the bill for you? You lazy so-and-so?
S-O-B.
Right. You know, and my dad is from the old school. The last thing he want to think about is his daughter or daughters taking care of some dude.
See, you know, speaking as a man, like how your father is, I have no fear of meeting any type of man because I know I got my shit together.
You upstanding. You ain't gonna have to worry about, well, sir, it's been, 6 years since I really had a job and, all that other stuff.
Right. Are you educated? Yes, sir. I graduated from such and such and such and such. I have all my bases covered. So I have no fear when I meet a father. It's like, okay. Yeah.
So then I'm asking you as a man, not saying that this is your situation, what's going on? Why is it? Because I tell my daughter, I said, you know what, honey, I feel sorry for y'all.
I do. I have nieces.
The kind of men, and then the men will probably say the same thing about the women, but I'm speaking from a woman's point of view since we're talking about the men right now.
We always talk about the men.
I said, I feel sorry for y'all because some of these dudes are turning out some piss poor ass little sons. And so that's what you'll have to be, looking forward to if you settle for a dude who ain't about shit, who don't think that he needs to work, who don't think who thinks that playing PlayStation all day is a job while you go out there and bust your hustle to make sure he has a roof over his head and food to eat.
Okay. Would you like me to answer that?
I would.
Okay. I agree with you in everything that you said. However.
Oh, shit.
Here's the thing. And people keep forgetting this. I know you women are out there and you guys are raising the children. You're working. You guys are busting your ass. Ask yourself this.
Okay.
Would you have to bust your ass if you made the right selection and asked the right questions of the man before you had children with him?
I totally agree with that, but that doesn't negate the fact that some of these black fathers, and we're speaking about black fathers because this is a black show.
Yes.
And some of these black fathers are turning out men or boys who are masquerading as men.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How are black men doing that when we are not leading our families?
That's how you're not doing it, because you ain't leading your family.
Why are we not leading our families?
And when you are there, and listen, this is probably a small percent because I don't buy into the whole
every black man
that black men are deadbeats, because indeed black men are the most active in the lives of their child than any other man out there. So let's get that out there. But I'm speaking from what I have seen a lot. Okay, and I've seen that. Okay, I've seen where these boys are just like they're just. But able, not right? No, really I understand that, but they can't function.
Okay, but here's my thing. I have two boys, and they're very successful, and they're where they're supposed to be in their lot in life. I wasn't really hands-on with them, but I made sure I picked that they had moms that made sure that they were going to do what they had to do and kick them in their ass. So how can you say, in a majority of our situation, we are not in the home, the woman wants to control the man, and that ain't a real man to begin with. Ray Ray or Pookie from the block is in and out of jail. So I kind of have a problem with you, saying.
But I'm asking. The question I'm asking is, what are you teaching them?
But we aren't. How can you teach them if we're not there?
Okay, but that's not true, because we know that almost 80% of black men are in the lives of their children. So that is not true. So the question is not, where are you?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The question is, what are you teaching them? Why is it that this generation, and to some degree our generation of men, are just kind of, hey, I would do something, but this and that is going on. I would go get a job, but it's cold outside.
Well, see, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. Now, in my situation, you remember we were in high school, right? 2 days after high school, where was I at?
Dun, 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 dun. I was in the
military.
Right,
I was in the military. You know what I mean? Because I was, I come from a military family. That's a different story. But what I'm saying is, a lot of it, I think we're the last generation where we can leave a high school and get a decent job or whatever. And the fathers that you're talking about that are there, they're so busy working and in the matrix, they don't have time to teach their kids shit.
Okay, but let me just get a little bit more specific, because that's probably what I should have did in the beginning to cut down on the confusion. What are you guys teaching your sons in regards to how to effectively be with women? I'm not talking about sexually.
Yeah,
I'm talking about in general. In regards to teaching the sons that you should be the properly functioning head of the household. You should not be drug around by your nose by some wayward ass woman that his agenda is to be divisive and manipulative and to just harm every situation and relationship that you have. What are you guys teaching your sons?
Well,
how to be how to be in that role?
Well, it's kind of hard because I'm from the old school. Me, the Book of Ike is right next to the Bible for me. And Sherazad Ali. those books are right there. So I always had the solution to how to lead my family, because what a black woman needs.
No.
Okay.
No.
But I'm not saying, but you can't do that anymore. The good old days are gone.
No, she don't need no good punch in the mouth.
Right. The good old days are gone, so we can't do that.
And she didn't say that, by the way.
But all the tools that was in our toolbox have been removed. I'm sorry, I started to laugh, but that is kind of funny to think about it.
The Book of Icon.
Shout out to Lee. But you take our tools out of our toolbox, there's not much to do. So when you're dealing with these young men, and even my son's come to me and he says, well, I got this girl and I go open her door for her and she don't like that. They don't know what to do, because it's like these women have bought into the bullshit, feminism bullshit.
Okay, let me ask you this to be more specific, since you're a movie buff.
Yes.
The scenario with Mr. and Harpo and Sophia.
Yes.
When he first introduced his daddy to Sophia, she was...
I would have been Danny Glover. I would have been Danny Glover in that part.
How do you talk to your son and help him to avoid getting in that type of situation?
I would have told them, go see Celie. Celie, beat her. Beat her. Cut and dry and to the point, right? No, okay, I'm just joking.
What she needs is a good punch in the mouth.
Right, exactly. Sherazade Ali. See what I'm saying? They all have the same conclusion. Anyway, okay, if my son is getting a very strong-willed woman,
Mr.
I'm Mr. and no, and I like.
Well, wait, you're Mr. Mm-hmm. But before Sophia comes marching up to your doorstep pregnant, what would you instruct your son to do to avoid being with a woman like that? Not that Sophia was all bad, but Sophia was she was a handful. Mm-hmm. What would you say to your son?
Well, I would tell him it's just like about life.
Mm-hmm.
My dad told me life is very simple. You got choices in life. Either you want steak or do you want peanut butter?
Mm-hmm. Peanut
butter sandwiches. Everybody's eating peanut butter sandwiches.
Well, if you ask me, I'd want peanut butter sandwiches.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but that's a choice you make, right?
I don't eat meat.
Right. But everything's about a choice.
Right.
So if you want the Halle Berry versus the fat Oprah Winfrey,
Get to it, brother. What is you going to tell? I did say is. What is you going to tell Junior? What are you going to teach him so he avoids bringing a woman like that home?
Well, you really can't teach him anything if that's what he wants.
What would you try to teach him?
I couldn't teach him anything because you can't teach a desire or how that goes.
Okay, but let's say you tried. What would you say, son? Okay, this is a better question.
I don't think I could teach that.
What type of woman would you try to suggest to him that he does bring home?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a better question.
These are trick questions.
Yeah, no, but it's hard to answer because I can't answer in the third person.
Got it.
I would tell him you want a submissive type woman.
Okay, break it on down because you're going to get some.
Yeah, submissive meaning she stays in her lane and does what she does to be a woman, and you do what you're supposed to do to be a man, which means hold the job, provide, do the things. All of that. You're a husband because you have a wife that you're taking care of. That's why you got the title husband and so on and so forth. But you want a submissive woman because a house divided can't stand.
Right.
So you can't have two leaders in the house. Like I'm an alpha male, even though I'm very laid back, whatever. I'm an alpha male. Mm-hmm. I can't be with the alpha female. I like them, but I can't live with the alpha female. So I would say you want a woman that is going to supplement what you bring to the table.
Okay. And I like that because I actually agree with that. But I think there's some people be like, what do you mean by submissive? Listen, I'm one of those women that totally believe in submitting to your man.
Doesn't mean you're a slave.
Right. But to your point, submission means I'm submitting to somebody who is doing their job.
Right.
Who doesn't think me submitting to them means that I'm underneath them and I'm less than them.
Right.
I have the ability to say, okay, baby. Yes, honey. Well, if that's what you think, okay, you don't really want me to do that. Okay, that I understand. So I agree with the whole submissive thing.
And I'm glad you brought that up because let's look at this clip that's going to exactly show how you should deal with your spouse. Lord. Let's take a look. And that's how you do it. What the problem is, eat the cake. Eat the cake.
I don't know.
Tina got millions.
Oh, she has Ike to thank for.
Yes, absolutely, because she would have been in obscurity in Tennessee. Annie Mae, her real name. She would have been
Anime
obscured.
Bullet.
She would have been obscured. I came and said, look, I'm going to make you a star.
Never mind that I'm going to dot both of your eyes, multiple times.
Right. And if you're going to take some time,
mouth
if you're going to take some time off, you should have told me.
Right, and taking time off having a baby.
Right, and didn't bother to pick her up.
Because he out hoeing. See, don't get me started.
But that is a example of a good way to do that. No, but in that example, I'm sorry to be joking. In that example,
you ain't sorry.
No, I am sorry. But you got to be funny. But in that example, for a successful relationship, I have to stay in my lane and do what I'm supposed to do as a man, and I need you to stay in your lane and be a woman. Cater to me, educate our children. If you want to go out there and educate yourself and get a job, I'm supportive of that. You know what I mean? But you do the woman thing, but don't tell me how to be a man. That's
like, see, I'll flip it around on me. Like for me and my daughter, when, and I'm not raising her because she'll be 25, but when I was raising her, and even, when we have conversations to this day, I always tell her, listen, who you choose is ultimately up to you, like you said. Mm-hmm. However, look for somebody who is going to, like you said, do his part, who is going to be able to provide, protect, and I also like to throw in there, teach you something.
Yeah.
Lead you in the right way of being a productive couple, person.
Supportive, right.
Somebody you can be proud of and say, that's my man. Mm-hmm. We doing this. Not somebody who is on the couch.
Problems.
Constant problems. He always got a song and dance as to what had happened was, I lost my job because they be tripping on me and all that other stuff.
Let me ask you this, since we're on this subject. What do you as a woman see a man our age and he comes to you and he's like, well, I can't find a job, or he's relying on his children to provide, or any man or woman to provide, do you think it is a parent's job to, or you think it's a child's job to support their working eligible parents? Because at a certain age, as we are where we're at,
right,
we're supposed to help them and guide them.
I don't think that's their job. I don't think that any parent really should put the burden on their children to
support
help them be responsible. Mm-hmm. It should be the other way around. Mm-hmm. I just can imagine doing that to my child. Oh, honey, let me tell you, your mama's, she's just going through it right now. Can you send me $500? Oh, your mama's going through it right now. I need to crash with you for about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and actually, I have a personal experience of that actually happened to somebody in my family. My brother, him and his mate were, they were doing really good together. And then the mother came and he told him, she's going to stay with us a few weeks. I told him, no, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that. The minute the mother came,
all
problems ensued, and they're not together for this.
Yeah, I don't think you should never burden your children with that. Now, your children, because they love you, they're going to help you. But if you are a constant burden, what had happened was, daughter, what had happened was, son, I need you to do this, that, and the other. Like you said, are you able?
Right.
Shit, like my dad said, a man worth his weight is going to make something out of nothing. My dad used to always wear the shirt as a child, and I said, I'm going to get him another one. I'm surprised with it. It had these 2 little buzzers on there, and it says something like, I got to get out there and kill something if I want to eat. Mm-hmm. And I always remembered that shirt, and my dad would from time to time say that. And so what he's basically saying is, listen, if I want this, the old adage is in the Bible. Mm-hmm. If you want to eat,
you gotta work.
You gotta work.
You don't work, you don't eat.
It don't say if you want to eat, mooch off of everybody else.
Get on food stamps.
Yeah, or get your grown kids to try to take care of you, be a burden to everybody in the damn world. It don't say that. It says go do for self. Mm-hmm. Says that and now I'm preaching, and I don't even go to church, but the Bible tells you listen. You got hands to work.
Right.
You got a mind to conceive. Mm-hmm. So that's what you need to do, but. No, I absolutely, I hate that. I hate to hear parents putting that burden on their children.
Okay, so if I came to you as a single man, I know you got your man name like that, but just hypothetically, and I said, well, I'm not working right now. My kids put me out or, whatever. I have no place to live. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm 47 years old and I'm telling you, I have no place to live. I have just a car, and it's not like, it doesn't matter. You don't live in your car. You could have a Sanford & Son beat up car. I don't care. But the point is, though, I don't have nothing, but hey, can I get your phone number?
My phone number?
Yes.
Me?
Right. You can't judge me. I got potential.
You joking, right?
I got potential.
And?
What did D Spring say?
I miss
man with the potential.
Yeah, miss her with all that. No, I mean I agree. No, you can't have my number. You know, and
why?
Because listen, I'm 47. Damn it, I keep saying I'm 47.
46.
I'm 46.
36. Sorry, 36. Sorry.
36. I don't have time for nobody with potential.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not with somebody like that. I'm with somebody who is doing everything
he's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. But I just couldn't imagine, because I'm assuming this would be a grown-ass man at this point in time. I look, baby, you look good. Let me give you my number. Let me get your number. Mm-hmm. You know, but I ain't really doing nothing right now. Well, you can't hang out with me.
Why?
Because I'm not going to help you, as my dad said, I'm not going to help you do nothing. You need to, and listen, this is again another Bible lesson for all of you people who think, and I was once that way too, think, you know, things are supposed to be done backwards. And even if you don't subscribe to the Bible, when Adam got Eve, he didn't get Eve when he was in potential stage. He got Eve once his garden was done, all the trees and the leaves and everything.
All the animals were named.
He said, God, I's lonely.
I need a mate.
And he says, okay, well, sure, here you go. And he gave Eve out of his rib, if you believe that, whatever. He gave Eve out of his rib. And the rest of history, he didn't get Eve when he was like, shit, I'm down on my luck. I need somebody to be here with me and help me get to where because that is the epitome of a man who is looking for somebody to call his mate.
Okay, so let's reverse the question. Mm-hmm. Why are these young women getting...
This ain't about the women. I'm just
Good one. Why are these young women selecting men that have no future? I just came out of prison, got a jail record, and then they've been with the guy 10 years. You know it's not going to work because he's in and out of jail, right? Then she's mad, got a chip on her shoulder.
Right.
Then I got to deal with her because I'm dealing with women our age that are dealing with that too.
Right.
You got to, you know, and they're mad. Yeah, the fist is his ball, tight. And you're like, you know, for me, I'm looking at him like, well, I didn't do anything to you.
Right. What did I do?
And because you were so upset, I don't want to, you know, this is too much for me.
Well, no, you're supposed to deal with it, okay?
Yeah, I have to deal with it.
Life has been hard for me. You need to deal with it.
But we're teaching these younger girls to make these kind of men selection. Like, this is all I'm going to get. No, there are good men out there. The guy that's going to RCC and, you know, he's going to transfer to Force. You guys don't want those guys. You don't want them.
Well, there's a few things that go in that. To me, it's always, mostly, I should say, going to boil down to low self-esteem. When you have low self-esteem, you don't know who you are. And so you pick people who you feel like you are. You'll pick a substandard individual to be with if you feel substandard, because people who feel, you know, like they have high self-esteem and that they know who they are, where they're going, they ain't settling for just any old thing. Like I said, a dude come up to you and he talking, I ain't got shit going on, but let me have your number.
But some girls are giving those guys a shot.
Because you know why? More than likely, he cute. I like how he talk. You know, he
hasn't got anything that's going to supplement you.
Listen, he got some nice clothes on, okay?
The homeless look is, I don't know where
he got some nice clothes on. You know, he's saying all the right things, girl. You know, whoop, whoop, whoop. And, you know, he
the shit stain off his drawers that doesn't bother you?
He looks good, okay, from the front.
Okay. You will not believe this, D, but I meet a lot of women, the ones with the ball fist, whatever it is. And, you know, and people say that I'm very, what's that word when you're very,
anal?
No, I'm not anal.
Oh.
When you're very, I look at the.
Oh, well, you're man.
Superficial.
So men, as a man, that's what y'all do. Y'all are physically attracted to a person first.
You know, and don't be wrong. I'm 47, so I look at women. Yeah, they're going to have a couple kids. I have a couple kids. But if you're 47 and you're like, you know, I mean, and then the girl gets mad because it's like, I'm not interested in you. But see, I'm in a position, I know you're laughing, but I'm in a position to where, you know, and everybody tells me that, well, you know, I'm not going to be with somebody just to be with somebody.
Listen, you know, I always say, never ever settle. Don't ever do nothing you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Don't do a person you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Don't go to a job you don't want to go to. Don't put up with nothing. To me, besides the greatest two words of I am, no. Is the other best word. I mean, it feels so good.
Yes, it does. But
and
you
the
know,
other one kiss my ass.
But these girls will get mad. They would get mad because, you know, they might work for the county. They have good jobs. Mm-hmm. You know, they got their thing. You know, they had some prior problems when they were younger, which is fine with their man. You know, and they get upset because it's like, you know, we could be friends, but I'm not attracted to you.
We could be very good friends.
No, we can't be very good friends, but we could be friends. But, I mean, I'm sorry.
That doesn't make you shallow. That doesn't make you less than. What does make a person less than is settling for somebody they don't want to be with.
Right.
Don't let society tell you, oh, well, you're shallow because, she got a couple LBs on her. And,
Right.
it's more for you to love. And so if you don't bow down to that, you're a douchebag. No. F you and the low self-esteem you rode in on, because that's what you would do don't mean that's what I need
exactly. And I'm not asking for a Halle Berry type, even though I would like that.
Even if you was, and that's your preference.
Right, exactly. But, they put you to make you feel, well, they don't make me feel bad, but they say, oh, he's very shallow. But even some of the women that I've met, some of these women that are attractive, and, let's say they're going through the same thing. Here's a guy that has nothing. Oh, well, I'll give you a number. Okay, cool. I've had women literally tell me, I can't date you. I said, well, why not? Because you got your shit together. Okay?
Because what she's saying is, I'm not going to be able to just run all over you, run rush shot all over and through your shit.
Or I'm not on your level yet. I'm trying to get there.
It's not even that I'm on your level, because a woman who feels like she deserves a man like you would say, you know what, I don't have my stuff together, but let's be friends and see where it goes. Mm-hmm. But women who tell you that straight up is because they know they ain't going to be able to run game on you and run you down and take, because they know who you are.
Right. Okay.
So that's why. Women like that are looking for the next sucker they can go. And, they don't look at the long term of it. Like, wow, let me get to know this dude. I like what he's saying. And let's just see where it goes. They thinking about the short term. Well, shit, I can't get over on him right away.
Right, because everybody knows.
Get what I can get out of him.
Yeah, because everybody knows you deal with me and you trying to borrow money from me. We going to see you in court. We gonna see you in court.
Okay, I ain't mad at you. Shit, money don't grow on trees.
Exactly,
and be trying to finesse people.
And people got to understand, I'm on a fixed income, so I get the same amount of money every month. So I just can't give it away.
I mean, even if you was getting $500 million every month, that is your money.
It's my money. It's my money.
And if you want to give it to a young lady, it's because you want to give it to her, but you ain't finna come just take from me because you think you got a big old booty.
Exactly, more than a button of smiles. But let's transition into this part. And we talk about this all the time, Dee, and I'm going to ask you because you are a resident expert. You've sold life insurance before. We've talked about it. Recently, I went to a friend of mine invited me to go to Prime America. And what it is I don't, I know it's an insurance company, but I don't know the difference between Prime America and what they're selling versus
other companies.
Mm-hmm. So could you kind of like break it down a little bit?
I'm glad you asked.
And the important things that we keep bringing up insurance is because I don't care if you go with Prime America, get some damn insurance on yourself. Insurance,
even if you got to go with Gerber Life.
Yes, Ray, Deontay, Calvin, and Shaquaqua. You know what they're doing out there as kids. They take a pill, they could be dead. So. Put some insurance on your kids, Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Shaniqua was, we use that a lot.
I am undone, okay? I am
Shaquaqua. Because we got to be different when we name our children.
I am literally busting a sweat and tears rolling down my eyes. Shaquaqua. Come on in.
Wait. Exactly. I'm going to tell you a story. This is real, and it's no shade to my family. It's nothing real bad or nothing like that. But I'm a little secret
not that
out.
It's ever stopped you before.
Yeah, it never stopped me before. But I'm a truth teller. I have a cousin.
I need to get my teachers.
I have a cousin who is named Kunta Kinita. Because that's when the time when Roots was coming out, when she was born. And my aunt was so into it, she named her Kunta Kinita. Of course, she's embarrassed. So guess what she goes by?
Kathy.
Netta. They call her Netta. Why do black women destroy their kids' names? It's sad. You know what I'm talking about. Did that make any sense to you?
Barack Obama Keisha.
Yeah, Hussein Obama. Yeah. It's sad.
I mean, my name is Demetria. I don't know how far away from Shaquaqua that is, but
but regardless, put some kind of insurance on your kids enough to at least bury them, because we can't rely on GoFundMe. We can't.
Or fish dinners and stuff.
So could you elaborate?
Primerica, and I like to just put this disclaimer out. I do not work for Primerica. I do not sell life insurance. I have the ability to do it. I'm not saying anything bad about Primerica.
You're trying to know the difference.
What I'm doing is shedding light because you asked me a question. You asked me what Primerica does. From my past knowledge of dealing with Primerica,
and please look this up. Don't just take what we're saying.
Primerica, it's out there. Yeah, they sell life insurance, and they also have the ability to invest your money. Except for they don't have one vehicle that will invest your money. So what do I say by vehicle? Vehicle is a type of life insurance that you can use. And so what they do is they have you buy a term policy. A term policy is just what it is. It has a term. So let's say you buy a term life insurance policy for 30 years for $10,000. It'll be worth $10,000 if you die up until the 30 years. After the 30 years, you'll have to replace it with another policy 30 years later. You're 30 years older. You got 30 years worth of
medical problems. And
maybe had a couple DUIs. Maybe you did a stint in jail because you was hanging out with Ray and Pookie and them. And so now you're going to get rated at a higher price. Right. So you have to pay more. Now, what they'll do is, so they'll say, buy term and invest the difference. Buy the term policy.
But we're not they're investing the difference.
Well, no, you're investing the difference because you say, well, you know what? I need a life insurance policy, but I want something to grow my money. I want to earn some cash value. I want to invest. Okay, well, listen, get this term policy for 30 years, and then we'll put your money in a bond or some sort of investment into the stock market some other way. Now, a whole life policy and a universal life policy, they'll allow you to build cash value by having a life insurance protection and allowing you to earn cash value or to grow cash value. So how do you do that? The base price of the policy, let's say, is $10. That's to keep that's the cost of the insurance is what it's called. So that's the $10 keeps the policy alive. Now let's say you end up investing $30. The $20, I don't want to lose anybody, goes toward the investment side.
Okay.
So that gets put into the stock market per se. But you'll always have your policy as long as you pay the $10 to keep the policy alive, the cost of insurance. And so what Primerica does in a nutshell, they'll have you buy the term policy and invest the difference with another policy. So in essence, you have all these other things where you could just have one.
Right. But where's this difference coming from? If I'm paying $10 term.
So then that 20 I just talked about, you're going to put that in another vehicle.
So I'm paying more in my policy.
No, your policy is $10.
Okay.
But you're saying I want to invest. I want to get in the stock market. Okay, well, give me $20 a month, and we'll put it in a stock and bond over here. Or
in addition to what I'm doing. Oh, gotcha.
But why not just get, if you can afford to do that. Now, term is reasonable for people who can't afford a universal life or a whole life policy. Term is much cheaper than those policies. But if you have the money and you want to get a life insurance policy and invest into the stock market, you get your whole life policy or a universal life policy. And this is smart, too. The guy we met with last night was kind of trying to touch upon that. But let's say, if you have a baby, you can get your baby insured at 10 days old. And so let's say you get them a whole life policy that typically, let's say you get one, you can get one that you'll pay it off in 20 years. By the time the baby is 20, they have a life insurance policy paid up for the rest of their life, in addition to having some cash. And so when they're 20, let's say they want to go to college, there's money for that. Because you've invested since they're 10 days old,
right?
For 20 years.
They don't have to join the military. They don't have to do those things.
They get married, and when they're 30, you still have the policy. Oh, you know what? Let's buy you a house. We've invested this money for 30 years.
Now to get a whole or universal, how much of a difference in monetary are we looking at?
It could be, depending on how much the policy is, it could be a significant amount, or it could be just a little bit more.
Like what's this going to like? Okay, so if I'm paying $30 for a term a month, what would?
So if you're paying $30 a month for a term, and let's say that term policy, I don't know, it doesn't matter, 20 years, and you want to pay $30 for a whole life, you're not going to get as much insurance. So $30 for, $30 for a term policy, you get you 30 years. $30 for a whole life policy might get you 10. And depending on how much of the value you want. So you'll get more value for a term policy, but you'll get less value for a whole life because it's a little bit more expensive and you're investing the money and all that other stuff.
Right. So like if I'm getting an insurance policy, I'm getting whole and I'm paying $300 a month. What am I paying? Am I paying for the insurance, or what part of the insurance is?
Now, this is the thing. If you're getting a whole life policy for $300, is the policy itself $300 because maybe you're unhealthy, maybe you had a bout with cancer, so those things, you got to answer those questions, right? And so you also got to ask yourself, okay, is the cost of the policy $300 because you're sick, or is the total policy $300 with the cost of the policy only being $100 to keep it alive, and now you're investing
the rest? Gotcha. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But I bring that up again because we talk about insurance. How do white people keep their wealth? You guys ever wonder, like, why is it that the guy could come from Kentucky and it seems like they just have money all the time because they keep themselves insured and their loved ones insured?
Right. And to your point, and this doesn't have anything to do with being racial or racist because we can't be, first of all, but that is how white people and other people build wealth. They do it through life insurance policies. For one, they're able to invest. There's a special tax code, I think it's 7702 tax code, that allows you to shelter money differently in the tax realm.
Right, without being taxed.
Right, without being taxed regularly. You're taxed to some degree.
And a good example, Trump just now passed the death tax.
Right.
He repealed it.
Right.
So now when he dies, he can give all of his inheritance, everything's money without having his kids pay taxes.
So he passed it permanently.
Well, yeah, they're trying to do it right
because
now.
it used to be that the death tax or not
the state tax.
The estate tax. Basically, when you die, there's some years where you don't pay it at all. There's some it's this much and that much.
Right,
so it varies.
So, but basically, they wanted to get rid of it to
forever.
However they're going to do it.
Why is that though? Why do you think he's trying to do that? Because you just alluded to that point.
Because he wants to.
I'm going to pass all my money.
Wealth. Right.
I don't want the government to get some of it, and then my kids
get this little bit what's left.
Because I didn't invest in the policy for the government to have it. But so I mean, I'm not necessarily mad at that because I want my daughter, God forbid, I pass, or my man when I get married and stuff. Because and to that point too, we talked about this yesterday, ladies. When you are with, and I'm not trying to be facetious or a jerk here, but we see this a lot. When you are with Ray Ray and Pookie, and you don't have life insurance, and you have a baby with Ray Ray and Pookie, get life insurance on them, because you are within the wrong to try to go to the funeral or to the mama, his Ray Ray mama, who's has life insurance on him, and say, well, I should have some of that money because I got a baby by him. Because the mama, and I don't blame her, would be able to say, get out of my face with that bullshit. Okay, because you thought this man was worthy enough to lay down with, but he wasn't worthy enough to protect yourself in case he dies in order to provide income for you.
Right, and his children. Right.
So the point that I'm making is get life insurance
on Ray Ray and Pookie.
Okay, get life insurance. Also, don't think because the mama, she was cool with me. I don't know why she wouldn't give me $10,000-$20,000. When people get a lump sum of money, that's when the relationships change.
Absolutely,
bitch. I don't know you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because and in that scenario, it's a double-edged sword because this woman lost her son, but she was smart enough to put insurance on him to bury him because you guys aren't married, so somebody's got to bury him.
And that's her policy. That's not y'all policy because y'all shared a man, that being her son and that being your man. That's her policy to protect herself in the case that he dies because people don't realize, it's not to cut you off, but by law, when your son dies, and let's say you working, you get 3 days or 5 days bereavement, 3 of them are paid, 2 of them are not paid. And if you lose a child, the last thing you're going to want to do is go back to work after 5 days. Right. Okay? You want to be able to say, you know what? I've got insurance on my child. It's enough for me to quit this job or be gone for a long enough time. And if I want to work again, I can find me another job. I can stay home, grieve, go to the nut house and you rock in a chair because I lost my son or whatever. That's what that is for. It's not to share with Shaquaqua because she got a baby by this dude.
And again, this goes back to being married. If you were married, maybe the mom would share some money with you because,
and even if she did, she doesn't have to.
She doesn't have to. But the point is, by law, I'll give you a good example. When my father died, he died in the Gulf of Mexico, and him and my mom were separated at the time. He had a girlfriend, from my understanding. I don't know the whole story.
Woo, we got to talk about.
Well, no, they were going to their separate ways at the time. Now they were going to get back together, whatever, but it never happened because he died. They didn't call the girlfriend to come get the body.
They called
the wife.
Well, that's usually how it works.
And that's what I'm saying.
You have no rights as the girlfriend.
Exactly. So just because you have a baby by guy, so this young man dies, your man dies, and you're not married to him, they're going to call his mother or his next of kin, which isn't you. It's the mother.
But this is the thing, to your point, too. You laid up with this dude. Y'all got a house and all this other responsibility together.
Not a house, apartment.
Whatever. Mm-hmm. Y'all got a cardboard box together. Mm-hmm. Y'all got financial responsibility, and you laying up with him, but you don't think it's a good idea to get life insurance on him, and he should have it on you as well. Mm-hmm. But you don't think that you should have life insurance, so he up and dies. You want to fight the mama tooth and nail over her life insurance policy
that she was smart enough to get.
It don't work that way. That's You're operating, and I'm just going to go and say this because I know somebody is going to say, well, she should get something. No. She shouldn't, because it shouldn't be the mama's fault that you're operating out of ignorance to pay for that. I'm sure just like she got a life insurance policy, the baby mama, whoever she is, could have got one too, because I've sat down with people say, well, nah, we good because his mama got life insurance on him.
And money, like you said, money is a motherfucker. But I was watching Judge Faith. That's what we were talking about yesterday.
Research.
Yeah, I was doing some research, watching this show. And, you know, we for those that don't know, we're here in California. It's very expensive out here.
Yeah.
They were fighting over a $50,000 policy. Now, Dee, could you break it down? If I had to do a funeral with a $50,000 policy to bury somebody, how much would I have left estimated? You know, just something in general.
When I was doing life insurance, it said on average funeral, and this was a while back, was $7,500 to about $12,000 for an average funeral. But things have changed.
But for Ray, I want the $15,000 casket.
You want the golden casket?
Yeah,
and all of that.
He got to have the best.
So let's say you have a $15,000 to $20,000
with the Jordan
funeral,
signal on the back.
All that. You're going to be left with about $30,000. You know, and then on top of that, you want to grieve.
Wait. He has a student loan that he didn't finish. You know, he went for a year and then dropped out. So I have $24,000. I have about
But that's not your mama's responsibility.
No, but it's his debt, though.
Die with his ass.
No, you got to pay those debts.
Who got to pay it?
He has debt.
He's dead.
Right.
He doesn't. Who's going to pay it?
That's true too. So. But I
mean, I'm not trying to tell people to die. People die with debt all the time.
Right. But that's another good point about having insurance, so that if you do have any debtors out there against your estate.
Well, your estate is a different story. Now, if I got a life insurance policy on you, you can't get blood from a turnip.
Right.
You know, that's not my debt, that's his. But let's say you do spend $15,000 to $20,000 on a funeral, okay? You're not left with $30,000. Let's say you got to take a significant amount of time off of work, depending on how much you're making. How much is that? $10,000? Because for me, I'd be gone indefinitely if I lost a child. So, you know, and then you got all these other expenses. Maybe you have to fly, your grandma out and all these other people. So you're probably left with maybe $10,000 to $5,000, depending, you know.
That ain't nothing.
Right. So going to get a lot of insurance on people while they're young.
Yes.
Get it while they're young because it's a lot cheaper.
And why is it get it while they're young?
Because when you're young, you probably don't have any health ailments. You ain't had no DUIs because all that stuff works against you.
Right. And statistically, a young person has a greater chance of dying. Not like of death, but I'm just saying.
The morbidity rate, there's a morbidity table actually that they follow is that actually men who are older get rated higher. Now, when you're young, they ask you the typical questions: do you smoke and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a driver's license, if you get it before you have a driver's license, then you're good because they don't want to look into your driving record. They typically don't do blood samples and all that other stuff. So it's best to get it while you're young. Mm-hmm. But so I mean, just at the end of the day, get you some life insurance.
Yeah. And I always
don't be a burden to everybody else.
And I always say, I'm an old fool now because I lived long enough to be this age. But there's a lot of dead young geniuses, and that's another thing the insurance companies, I was told, they say a young person is more susceptible than me to do something stupid to kill themselves.
Right. Well, they ask those questions, but just get the insurance. I mean, It's a bill.
Yeah, it's a bill,
it's a bill that will pay off. God forbid somebody dies.
And since it's a bill, do the investment side of it too.
Exactly, so it can be working for you.
Exactly.
Because you're paying a light bill, you ain't getting nothing back.
Right, exactly. So we're going to have a guy that's going to do some financial management, get that information out to you guys because we're doing something. Don't get her started. So, hey, this has been Loving the Skin I'm In. I am Donovan Sadiq. My good partner, DK, and she has a show 3 p.m. and she's kicking the reel. Any idea what you're going to be talking about?
Nope, but I'm sure it's going to be interesting.
Yes, and after that, you're going to be going on hiatus.
Yep, me and you both.
Yeah, for the holidays. So
we're going to go do something.
Do something. So you guys, be safe out there. This is Loving the Skin I'm in. You guys got any questions, please send it. We are looking forward to having answer the questions. And again, happy holidays and be safe.
187